Ejecting coaxium particles. Pilot sync rate stable. Mind bridge initiated.
Aquila, taking off.
What's good, y'all? I just got off of Helldivers, and I'll go right back on it. Just got done watching my pastor preach the good news that Jesus has risen as well on TikTok, like I do every week. Shout out to Papa Jeremy. Now, this video is, I guess, a response to a comment I received, I think, 2 weeks ago? Or a week and a half ago. The comment basically said, and this was on my video, basically asking exactly what was the point, or what is the point of a PS6 even happening, right? And I've heard many people, both on YouTube and off, content creators, ask the same question. Exactly, what is the point of the PS6? This comment in particular, though, was, why exactly is PlayStation the default console? Especially in this generation, like, exactly what is the point of the PlayStation being the default? Why? I don't think there's a straight answer for that question. And of course, you know, they went on to give their opinions as to why it's ridiculous that it's the default, and I kind of agreed. However, you got to be a little more open-minded about this question, right? On answering it. Well, I do agree with that. You know, for the longest time, and I think many can agree, you know, PlayStation has been, it's kind of just been the default console for years, or the default brand. I mean, I was alive during the PS1 era. I witnessed the PS1 and how amazing it was, especially in 1998, peak year. You had to be there. You had to be there in 1998. If you missed out on 1998, I'm sorry. You missed out. That was peak PlayStation. I don't know how to truly explain, but PlayStation games had this aura, this aesthetic to them that really, it stuck with me. It stuck with me very much, because I still play Siphon Filter. I still play Ape Escape. I play Ape Escape all the freaking time. Y'all hear the Ape Escape music in my video. You hear it in my videos every single time. Okay. PlayStation had an aura that I don't think can be replicated anymore. Maybe it could, but you know, Sony would have to, you know, make moves to make that happen, of course. Like we've been saying, give us Killzone, please. Give us some IPs you haven't used in a while. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. For years after the PS1, I had a PlayStation device each generation. I may not have had the PS3, but I did for a time have the PS4, and I loved the PS4. The PS3 was awesome when I did play on it. However, although I do prefer Xbox 360 controllers over the PS3 controller, PS3 had bangers. Heavenly Sword was freaking awesome. Okay, I love that game. Infamous, you know, there was a lot of games on there that were peak, okay? And, you know, like, even in the Xbox One, PS4 era, I preferred the PS4 at the start of that generation. I didn't want the Xbox One. But our dad ended up getting us the Xbox One anyway, and I was actually pissed off when he did that. I wanted the PS4 so bad. Over time, though, the Xbox One had its value. It developed a value that I actually grew to appreciate over time. So that generation wasn't too bad. But this generation in particular, right? This current generation, right? The PS5, Xbox Series X generation. Look, I just told you. I owned the PS1. I had a PS2. It was my sister's, but I played that thing more than she did. Okay? I had the PSP, the PS Vita. Had a PS4 for a bit. Loved the PS4. Loved the PS Vita. PSP was peak. Okay? Every generation I've had a PlayStation device. This is the one console generation where I did not have a PlayStation. And I did want to get a PS5, but I had to sit and really think about why exactly do why do I need a PS5? What's the benefit? I have an Xbox, and I feel like at the time I even felt my Switch had more value than the PS5 gives. Right? So let's run down the list. Like, the only benefit, actually, yeah, there is no list. The only benefit is to play as exclusives. Now, here's the problem with that. I don't ever buy a console for exclusives. I've said this time and time again. I don't do that, right? I don't care for God of War Ragnarok. I don't care for The Last of Us Part 2. I hate Miles Morales as a character. I think his existence is pointless. I don't like Spider-Man 2. I think it sucks. Spider-Man PS4 was a lot better. I love that game. But Spider-Man 2 was terrible in my opinion. For my own personal reasons. And some people would actually agree with me, believe it or not. And I literally considered getting the PS5 just to play Helldivers 2, but well, I got Helldivers 2 on my screen right in front of me. So there's no point to that. Stellar Blade, since I plan to go to PC at some point, it wouldn't make sense to get a PS5 just to play Stellar Blade. Oh, all their games are going to PC, so it's at that point, why would you get a PS5? Get a PC for the same amount, and it'll run better than the PS5. It'll run better than my Xbox. So at that point, this generation, the point of the PS5 is like, there is no point. Now, seeing how exclusives are pretty much, dead, a thing of the past, exactly what would be the point of the PS6? Now, when it comes to the PlayStation being the default console, the thing is that when people think about gaming, PlayStation is like the first thing that pops into people's heads. And I kind of just noticed that, like, when you watch TV, cartoons even, PlayStation is referenced a lot, even more so than Xbox. I don't think it's not often I've seen Xbox referenced in a cartoon, but PlayStation, I've seen it. Like the Boondocks, for example, it was referenced in that, and I'm sure in other ones, but it's just, people think PlayStation when they think video games. That's just how it is. And I think it's, for as long as I can remember, it's just always been like that. There was a time where I thought that was kind of weird, because personally, as a child, I felt the Xbox was better than the PlayStation 2. Don't get it twisted, I love the PS2, but I felt the Xbox was just way cooler. I mean, it had Jet Set Radio Future. Come on now. Come on now. You cannot disagree with me on that. Jet Set Radio Future was peak. Don't at me. The PS2 did not have Jet Set Radio. That automatically made the Xbox cooler. I don't care what you say about it, okay? Shut up. I'm half kidding. Like I said, PlayStation just, its name is just that big. Now, this generation, what do people play on PlayStation for the most part? And the sales numbers don't lie. People play Fortnite, Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, etc. That's what they playing. This is kind of why these exclusives ain't exclusive no more. Sony saw their sales numbers and were like, okay, that's enough. That's enough exclusivity. The exclusivity thing don't work because people aren't buying these games. PlayStation owners are not buying a lot of these games. They're not. Like I said, it's just, you know, people just think PlayStation, so they buy PlayStation. Does it mean they're gonna play all these exclusives? No, they just want a console for their children to play on. You know, and what do children play? They play Fortnite. What do casuals play? They play sports games and Call of freaking Duty and GTA. That's what they play. They're not interested in God of War Ragnarok. They're not interested in those types of games, man. They're just not. A lot of people, a large majority of people are not interested. They're just not. Which is why it's beneficial for you to put your games everywhere. Then you're gonna have people actually buying the freaking games. At the end of the day, I really think it's just a matter of preference. Some people like those kinds of games, and some people, you know, they don't really dig into like what makes this console better than this one. They just get the console and call it a day. I noticed a lot of people don't do that. They don't. Like, I know a lot of people that play video games, but they don't bother to look into what makes which console better than the other. A friend of mine, an online friend of mine, recently bought a PS5, and he kind of messed up. He realized he messed up because he had to make a whole PSN, and for his own reasoning, he can't make a PSN. Yet, he does have a Microsoft account. So it's like, oof. Now what? I don't know. I don't know. It's just, it's just a matter of preference, man. And I really don't know why it's the default console, especially this generation. This is the weakest PlayStation's ever been. And if you're getting butthurt about my opinions of this console company, whatever, you need to have a thicker skin. These are my opinions. I don't hate PlayStation. I don't want people coming to my channel thinking I hate PlayStation. I want PlayStation to be the best it could be, but this generation, I don't have any PlayStation device this generation. The fact that I don't have any PlayStation device this generation says enough, because every generation I've had some kind of PlayStation device. And the fact that I couldn't come up with a valid reasoning for even getting a PS5, again. And I could have got one. I work. I got money. I could have got a PS5. But again, couldn't come up with a good reason to even get one, man. I got the Switch. I got the Xbox. Didn't need a PS5. It wasn't necessary. I'm not gonna spend $500 for a freaking just to play Stellar Blade, just to play Helldivers 2. Like, that's stupid. It doesn't even make sense. I'm starting to think that people who get the PS5 just to play Fortnite on it are kind of the smart ones, because they ain't worried about no exclusives. You know, I ain't worried about exclusives. I didn't buy an Xbox to play exclusives on it. Keep that in mind. I didn't. Even though I get them day and date, but I didn't get the Xbox for exclusives. I play a lot of third party. I play multiple free-to-plays. And then if I want an exclusive, if there's an exclusive I really like, then I'll play it because it's on Game Pass day and date. See all those benefits? You know, it's a lot of benefits with Xbox, bro. Even more benefits with PC, though, of course. But I had to talk about that. That comment was video worthy in my opinion, because yeah, like I really don't think PlayStation is worthy of being the default at this point. Get a PC or something, y'all, until PlayStation gets its ish together. I hope they do. Then again, I doubt it. Who knows? We'll see. Deuces.
MVP.
Nobody dodges Aquila's gaze.